Welcome to the Eagle Tribune Thursday football show. We're with Pentucket star Jeff Porter. Jeff, congratulations for being our Player of the Week.
Thank you.
Jeff, sort of a crazy little run for you. The game before last, you're out with dehydration in the sweltering heat. You get a bye week, you come back, you're really struggling against Amesbury as a heavy favorite, and then you just go off in the second half. Scoreless tie, and then it's the Jeff Porter show. 3 straight touches, 3 straight TDs. Take us through what the heck happened.
I don't know. After 2 weeks ago and only getting to play that first half, it was just tough, and I knew that I really was gonna want to work hard and be able to get back out here and make a difference on the field against Amesbury. And after a slow start, the whole team kind of woke up and put it together, and we got it done.
Was it a tough atmosphere in the locker room? Was Coach Hayden, at least to the media, is known as a bit of a quiet guy? Is it a little different when you're behind those walls and you're struggling at the half in a scoreless game?
Yeah, it is. He's always positive, though. He always stays positive. He knows how to get the team going, and he's a great coach.
Have you ever 3 touches, 3 scores? You don't see that too often. Have you ever, from Pop Warner up in your backyard, have you ever 3 touches, 3 scores before?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think that might have been a first.
And how about, you're going into a arch rival with the new playoff system. Things change a little bit. Playing Triton mid-season, what's that going to be like? A pretty tough Triton squad this year?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a battle. We're looking forward to it. We know Triton's a great team. It's just a great rivalry. Going to be a great game, like always.
We touched on it a little bit, Jeff. What's it like playing for Coach Hayden? You don't realize the wins have piled up and piled up. He's one of the winningest coaches in the state. You're a young kid. Your brother was a standout player. What's it like to come up the ranks and play for Coach Hayden and sort of hitting legendary status at this point?
It's an honor to play for him. My brother played for him. He loved him. Coach Hayden, he's a great guy. I remember coming here when I was really little and watching the games and watching Coach Hayden coach. So it's just really cool to now be on his team and be a senior.
One thing that I always think is pretty cool at a sort of a smallish type school like Pentucket, they're always telling you, you have to specialize, you have to specialize. I love the Jeff Porters of the world, the 3 sports standouts, the 3 sports captains. Anyone try to pressure you when you were young? No, you got to specialize a little more, just 2 sports.
No, not really. My dad always encouraged playing 3 sports. Everyone in my family has played 3 sports. So, I love all 3 of them, and I just love to compete.
What's the sales pitch you'd give to a young kid who's maybe, my AAU coach is telling me to do it year round? What pitch would you give him? Nah, kid, do 3 sports.
Yeah, I'd probably tell him that. I'd probably say, enjoy all the sports you can. You'll be playing with different kids, and that's always a plus. So,
Eagle Tribune's David Willis did a real nice feature on you going into the season. Ooh, being a freshman playing varsity football, what is that like?
It was pretty scary at first. I was a really small freshman, only about 125 pounds, but my team, they got behind me and they supported me the whole way through. So after a while, I just kind of got used to it, and it was fine.
And it looks like all's well that ends well. Good freshman year, awesome senior year so far. Congratulations on Player of the Week.
Thank you.
Timberlane star Kyle DiBurro, who had a monster game as the Owls snapped their 10-game losing streak last week with a big win over Bishop Girton. So congratulations to our defensive lineman of the week. And Kyle, take us through that game. What would it mean to get that monkey off your back?
It was a great feeling overall, just kind of getting rid of that, like you said, weight over our back and just taking down a team we haven't beaten in a while. It just felt really good overall.
Does it make it a little more special? BG a little bit of a rebuilding mode, but if you look at the last 10, 15 years in New Hampshire, probably the program is BG.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling to be at a program like that, no matter what the year is. I mean, we were down 0-2 in our first 2 games, and just to come back like that and with being down in the fourth quarter was just a good feeling.
Geez, the numbers you put up were really eye-popping. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, but everybody said, no, make sure you talk to him about the tackle on the kick return late in the game, that it looked like that kid could break it, and you made the tackle. Take us through that big tackle when it could have all slipped away if that kid breaks it late in the game.
It was definitely a close one. We have to stay disciplined on that, and I was lucky I got there. I mean, you got to rely on your teammates there, but I'm lucky I made the play.
Quite the football family, old-timers like myself. Remember your dad, Jeff DiBurro, at Haverhill, 2-time Eagle Tribune All-Star, Hall of Fame career, certainly one of the all-time greats to wear the brown and gold. Does your dad give you some of the stories from the glory days with the Illies?
Yeah, definitely. I hear all about it all the time. He tells me about different games he played and stuff, but just most importantly, giving me tips and stuff on how to be better and just be a better person in general. So just help me out through life.
And geez, pretty neat. Your stepbrother is also playing for the Owls?
Yep, he's Jake Hazeltine. He's my stepbrother. We've actually been best friends since we were 2 years old. So it's been with him for a while now, and yeah, it's nice to have him on the field there with me.
Cool. And what do you think you guys are we going to see a new improved Timberlane team? It's early in the season. Is last week the sign of things to come? Or?
I feel like it is. I feel like we finally it clicked for us, and I think we may go on a streak and may just get it going. I think it's looking good.
Hey, what's it been like to 3-year starter? Not too many kids do that. Are you a far superior player now than you were sophomore year, or more of the same?
I feel as though I've grown as a player, definitely. I mean, I feel like that comes with getting the experience. But just being on the team, being on the starting line for 3 years now has helped me just learn from the upperclassmen above me and be a good influence now that I'm in that position.
And has football always been in your blood? Were you a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid playing for the Pop Warner saying, hey, I'm going to be an Owl someday?
No, I actually wasn't. I didn't start organized football until about 8th grade.
Wow.
It was my first year, so my dad never wanted to force me to do anything I didn't want to, and I wasn't interested, and then I just decided one day that I wanted to play.
What was your sport growing up?
Really track. When I was younger, it was track and field.
And what made you, football can be a tough sport to jump into. People who, they don't punch you in the face in track. What got you thinking, hey, I can play this football thing?
I mean, I had friends on the team that just were telling me, oh, you should play, you're a big kid, you could play maybe fullback for us or something. So I thought I'd give it a try, see how I liked it. I really honestly didn't think I would last that long, but made it this far.
What's the key to your game? Are you a tough kid? Are you a quick kid? Are you a strong kid? What do you look as your calling card?
Just keep the fundamentals, basically. Just do my job is the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of people on this team. If we do our jobs, then it's going to work out for us. I mean, I'm not the biggest or strongest kid on the team, not the fastest. I just do my job and get it done.
Certainly put it all together last week. Congratulations, Kyle DiBurro, our lineman of the week.
Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Eagle Tribune Thursday High School Football Show. This week, we have Thanksgiving in September. We don't have the delicious turkey and side dishes, but we do have a lot of teams facing off against their Thanksgiving rivals in this crazy new playoff system, which I love in the playoffs. I really feel weird about the Thanksgiving rivals playing this early, but we go on. The first matchup we're going to talk about is a couple of Thanksgiving rivals. It's Andover and Central Catholic, the nice rivalry. Central, obviously, they're hurting. They're coming off their tough loss to St. John's Prep. Andover beat Methuen. What do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I was at the Central game, and it was just such a strange game. 5 straight turnovers. If you're Central and you want to spin it, this is against powerhouse St. John's Prep, you can spin it. How often are we going to turn the ball over 5 straight times? That 1 out of 50, 1 out of 100. I almost take it as a positive. Next time, watch out St. John's Prep. We're not going to turn it over 5 times. Andover had some ups and downs. It just looks like Central is clearly the superior team.
This is a veteran team. The Central Catholic team is a veteran team. They're not going to make mistakes like this very often. Andover, they played well in the second half. Kevin Chen has just been awesome. Central's just a better team right now, barring any other crazy mistakes. I got to go Central in this one.
Yeah, it would be very tough for Andover no matter how you slice it, but they've been playing without Omel Bonilla this year. That's a huge loss in the middle. Just the Raiders look awfully tough.
They beat him 2 times last year. It's probably going to be another time this year. Okay, we go on. Leave the Thanksgiving theme for a minute. We go to New Hampshire because our other huge game on Friday night. It is undefeated Pinkerton. We expect them to be 3-0 at this point against undefeated 3-0 Londonderry. When's the last time we saw that in a while? This is a really fascinating matchup.
Yeah, though it's interesting. Probably the 2 best rivalries it would be Andover Central and Pinkerton Londonderry, so to get them the same week. And it's always, Pinkerton's always there. You know, they've been up for 20, 30 straight years. Londonderry, you never know. They're really behind Fairweather and young coach Jimmy Lozon really doing some great stuff. The Bishop kid. Pinkerton didn't look unbeatable. They struggled against Salem. Granted, a good Salem team. You wonder TJ Urbanic's health situation. Coach O'Reilly says he's good to go. He'll be back. He was banged up. The shoulder was hurting him. If you're going to pick an upset special, you'd definitely go with Londonderry. I don't have much guts. Upset special, going with the Lancers.
Hey! I almost cut the upset special last week with Salem over Pinkerton. I tell you, I was talking to a reporter from another paper who was raving about Fairweather. I couldn't get him to stop talking about how good Fairweather is. I saw him in practice, haven't seen him in a game. He looks great. Like you said, Pinkerton is a little off. We got to see the veteran O'Reilly against the member of the Manchester Mafia. I'm going to wimp out. You pick the upset special. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to go Pinkerton, but if we see this matchup again in the playoffs, I could easily see it going another way. Okay, now back to the Thanksgiving theme. We go Pentucket and Triton. Pentucket had the weirdest game in the world. You featured Jeff Porter earlier. They played horrible against Amesbury in the first half, played terrific in the second half. They can't play like that against Triton. They can't have that kind of start. Triton's a decent enough team. They're not a great team, but they're a good team. They can't have that kind of start.
Yeah, that's and as you say, obviously, anytime it's such a big rivalry like that, how many years have they played on Thanksgiving? 30, 40 years, whatever the number is. That's going to make it a close game. Just the heated rivalry. I just think Porter and Co. are probably a little bit the superior club.
I agree. I'm going Pentucket in this one. So you going Pentucket too?
I'm going Pentucket.
Okay, we keep going. We have Methuen. We have Drake. Methuen, dire need of a win here. They've lost a couple heartbreakers. They almost beat Lawrence. Lawrence comes back. They hang with Andover through the first half. Then they fall apart. If they're going to get a win, this is probably it right here.
This is one important game. They both played very tight games the last couple of weeks with Lawrence prevailing on both. I don't know, the Tyler Bassett kid really opened some eyes last week against the Lancers with his 3 TDs and 2 TD passes. Just getting a little vibe that maybe it's going to be tough to stop Tyler Bassett, and maybe it's the Middies' day.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to have to go with the Middies. I'd like to say otherwise, but I can't. Wyndham keeps rolling. They have Sanborn this week. Sanborn's coming off a good week, but Wyndham's just so good right now. I can't see any way this goes any other way. Just McGinnis and Co. are just rolling right now.
Yeah, Brendan McInnes is leading the offense to 49.0 points a game, 3-0 start. He's got 6 TD passes. Brendan and Co. Roll again.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, and now we go to North Reading, where the Hornets will be hosting Newburyport. North Reading's 2-0. They won a tight game. Newburyport's 1-1, but their loss is to a really tough Linfield team, which is just absolutely rolling through the Cal right now. This is going to be a tough one for North Reading, but I think they can do it. I think that they're really playing well. I think their running game is so good. I think that they can beat Newburyport.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would maybe it's even the home field advantage pushes them a little bit over the top, so we'll go with the Hornets in that one.
This is going to be a close one. I agree. Rounding out Friday's games, we got Pelham playing at Milford. Pelham's going good. Mm-hmm. They're playing well. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I don't think they're going good enough. We'll go with Milford.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to have to go with Milford, too. So we go into Saturday. Big game on Saturday. Haverhill still doesn't have their lights, so they're playing Saturday afternoon games. They're hosting Lawrence. Lawrence is 2-1. Haverhill's got to be just hurting like heck. They've had a week to think about the crushing loss to Central Catholic. You know that Coach O'Connor has been on them like crazy. They're just dying to play a game right now after God knows how tough the practice. But Lawrence is playing well too.
Yeah, Lawrence, give them their due. You know, it's never going to be that easy for Lawrence. They really have to bring their A game. But back-to-back, a couple close wins. They pull it out both times. A+ on the effort, A+ being clutch, A+ digging deep. I just keep on seeing the size of the biceps of that Haverhill line. They've all swallowed barbells over the summer. I think maybe they're going to have a little bit too much up front, and it's going to be tough for Lawrence to match up physically in the trenches.
Lawrence is explosive, but like you said, Haverhill's too tough. Haverhill's too big. And I can only imagine how difficult the last week and a half, 2 weeks has been in practice. So I'm going to go Hillies. You want Hillies too?
Hillies as well.
Okay, and we have North Andover. They're hosting Tewksbury. North Andover 2-0, a couple tight wins. Tewksbury 1-1, but their losses to a very tough Everett team, which is obviously historically tough. Tewksbury's been a powerhouse over the years. They've been winning Super Bowls. I don't know if North Andover, as good as they've been so far, I don't know if North Andover can hang with them.
Yeah, it's a classic case of not all losses are created equal. They had Everett on the ropes deep into the fourth quarter. James Sullivan, really one of the handful of elite backs in Massachusetts.
He's been good for 3 years.
Yeah, anytime you get James Sullivan, you got their recent pedigree, and you show even post Johnny Aylward, you can come this close to beating Everett. Got to go with Tewksbury in that one.
Yeah, I don't discount North Andover, who's been very tough, but Bubba Schooler's the man. But you got to go with Tewksbury in that one. Okay, and we have Salem playing host to Timberlane. Salem coming off, talk about tough losses. That's as tough as it gets, being at the 1 yard line against Pinkerton, looking for their biggest win in God knows how long, probably since the last time. No, since they won their state championship, in which they beat Pinkerton in the semifinals. Salem's got to be ready for this one. Timberlane coming off a great win, but I just don't think they can do it against Salem.
I just think the key to this one is Salem's ability to bounce back mentally. Not one, but 2 times being stopped on 4th and 1, 2 different late fourth quarter possessions. You can look at it, wow, great performance. You give powerhouse Pinkerton all they ask for and more, or it might be we're 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. We're devastated. We're still fuming. We're in the dumps, and we can't get up for this game. Our head's still in the last game. Certainly, Timberlane has more than a fighting chance. Kyle DiBurro, he is a bad man. We'll say Salem can bounce back, and they take it though.
We were at practice this week. We know how hard Timberlane's going for this one. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm a believer in Coach Pike. I'm a believer in John Saratani. Talking to him really, really impressed me. I think Salem has no problem bouncing back. I think they're going to turn into a positive. I think they're going to win this one pretty handily. No offense to Timberlane, though. Okay, and now we have Greater Lawrence traveling to Whittier. Whittier's lost 2 straight in fairly heartbreaking fashion. What do you think of this?
It's another really good rivalry. You've got they're battling over the same students. A lot of those kids from you see Methuen kids on both teams. Whittier swept them last year. Greater Lawrence is playing some good ball this year. Whittier sort of not necessarily putting it together at this point. I won't rule them out for putting it together a little bit down the line. Go with a hunch. Jeremy Torres coming off a 200-yard rushing game for the Reggies, and say the Reggies in a tight one behind Torres.
Okay, good thinking. I could see this being a game that Jesus Sanchez takes over for Whittier. I think he's got that really explosive game in him right now. That being said, I'm not feeling real good about Whittier right now, so I'm gonna have to go the Reggies too. Okay, and now we have Manchester going to Georgetown. A couple teams that have both been struggling. I'm going to probably go with Manchester in this one.
I am as well. I flipped the coin 21 times. It came up 11 times Manchester and 10 Georgetown. So with that scientific study, we'll go with Manchester.
I agree. I saw them in the preseason, and they may not be great, but they are tough. RK, we have Brooks going to Nobles. Brooks coming off a good first win. I'm going to say Brooks keeps it rolling.
It's a tough one. Love the way Jalen Martinez played in the opener, a tough kid from Methuen. They got a lot of local talent. Coach Foley's done a good job attracting some local talent. Still think Nobles takes it, though.
Okay, and to round out this slate, we have Phillips hosting Kent. Phillips coming off a really, really tough loss. After last year's huge championship season, they really couldn't move the ball. Until they show something offensive, their defense played well, but until they show something offensively, I can't go with them. I'm going to go with Kent.
Yeah, Kent, I'm assuming, is pretty tough because they gave Phillips a heck of a matchup last year, and that was their best year in 20 years or whatever it was, one of the great seasons in school history. Phillips got off a little slowly this year, so just based on that, we'll go with Kent.
Okay, well that ends the slate. Enjoy Thanksgiving in September, and look forward to seeing a lot of great games this week.